Chapter 33 is about animal nutrition and the digestive system. Whether an organism is a carnivore, an herbivore, or an omnivore, all organisms must maintain proper nutrition. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is food that's taken in, it's taken apart by the body, and taken up by the body. Organisms, any animal, their diet must supply chemical energy, so making ATP molecules. Nutrition must supply organic building blocks, so making those large macromolecules, things like lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates, and nucleic acids is going to be really important. And then having those essential nutrients. So these are nutrients that are required by the cell that cannot be created without having food. There are 4 classes of essential nutrients that must be obtained through food. The first is essential amino acids. So what we remember from a long time ago, amino acids are the basic building blocks. They're the monomers of proteins. So there are 20 different kinds of amino acids. In humans, must get 8 of those 20 amino acids from the diet. So 12 can be synthesized naturally, but we have to eat properly in order to make those remaining 8. Another class of essential nutrients are essential fatty acids. Animals cannot synthesize essential fatty acids. Plants can. So the way that we obtain these essential fatty acids is through our diet, eating seeds or other parts of the plant. And remember that fatty acids are important for the membrane, making phospholipids, different kinds of signaling molecules, and also just for basic fat storage. Another class of essential nutrients are vitamins. So vitamins are organic molecules that are required, again, by our diet in very small amounts. There are 13 vitamins that are essential to the human diet, and some are fat soluble. So remember, like things, likes, if that makes sense, and then water soluble. So it has having to do with like polarity, like things dissolve like. That's what I was trying to say a moment ago. So things that are water soluble vitamins, those are going to be shown on the next slide. So rather than go through all of them right now, I'll show you the 4 fat soluble vitamins, and then the rest are going to be water soluble. All right, finally, minerals. So minerals are inorganic, so not carbon-based. And so typically we see these in their like ionic states. So things like potassium, iron, phosphorus, chlorine, magnesium, calcium. Those are all examples of minerals that are essential to our bodies. Again, required for basic cell production. Here's a list of the 13 vitamin requirements of humans. Now, what should you know? Because certainly looking at this table, it can be very overwhelming. I would probably memorize the fat-soluble vitamins at the bottom and just know brief, just a little bit about those 4. So like vitamin A is overall really good for our eyes. Knowing vitamin D helps with calcium absorption into our bone. That's really important for strong bones. Vitamin E is an antioxidant, which, what does that mean? We hear it so much, like with blueberries and things like that. Antioxidants help to neutralize free radicals in our body. So any ion that when it's loose, it could do damage on a cellular level. Vitamin E helps to kind of counteract those free radicals that could cause damage. Vitamin K is helpful in blood clotting, so that's really important. And then another one in that water-soluble column is vitamin C. So vitamin C is really helpful in lots of different things, but with our connective tissue. And know where we get the different kinds of vitamins from what part of our diet, whether it's leafy greens or citrus, which we all know with vitamin C is where we get that essential nutrient or essential vitamin, which is an essential nutrient. So here are those inorganic mineral requirements of humans. Again, a brief list. You should be familiar with these, again, in small amounts. And please know with all this stuff, especially things that we require in small amounts, too much of things is going to counteract any good function that these minerals have. So like sodium is extremely important for nerve function. But when we have too much of it, like with salt, sodium chloride, we can have problems with our blood pressure, and that can lead to a whole nother can of worms. Okay, so these things, again, in very small quantities is what we need. So what should you know? Probably all of them, but again, things that you already know: calcium, good for bones, phosphorus, also good for bones and really important for building nucleic acids and building nucleotides, which is one of those macromolecules. Sulfur, a big building block for many different amino acids. Potassium, again, nerve function. Chlorine, kind of partnering up with sodium, with table salt. Magnesium, helping in ATP building. Iron, again, can operates with hemoglobin, helping to bind onto oxygen and move it throughout our body. Fluorine, teeth, iodine, helping to regulate those thyroid hormones, or being a main component of thyroid hormones, So probably be familiar with the major functions and the different types of mineral requirements. So what happens when the dietary needs are not getting met? That means that you have a dietary deficiency. So there's a couple words that sometimes can be used interchangeably. Undernourished, when somebody or something, an animal, their diet is deficient in calories. They are not getting enough energy for their cells to run properly. Somebody or something that is undernourished might have stunted growth. They might be abnormally thin, like rail thin, and again, not just for people, but animals. And they might be small for their age. So undernourishment, you can often see because they probably don't carry enough fat, and they don't have enough calories to, again, make energy for their body. The other term is malnourishment. Now, for this slide, malnourishment is where somebody is missing one or more of their essential nutrients in their diet. Now, when you're missing those essential nutrients, and you're malnourished, well, you probably are not getting enough energy, and you probably also don't have enough calories. So being undernourished is malnourishment, if hopefully that makes sense. Now, even though I'm not talking about this, but Malnourishment can also refer to an overindulgence as well. And you're taking in too much garbage basically in your diet, and you're still missing out on those essential nutrients. So please know again, whether you are having overnutrition or undernutrition, those are examples of malnourishment. And if you're undernourished and your diet is deficient and you don't have enough energy, that is also malnourishment. So hopefully, again, a lot of the times these terms are layman's terms, are kind of used interchangeably. Okay, so undernourished, again, diet, deficient, stunted growth, malnourishment. You're missing, for whatever reason, over or underindulgence, you are missing out on those nutrients. They still go hand in hand.